Anyway, tonight was my Tuesday night mastermind group for our CBF members, those that are a part of the Cleaning Business Fundamentals group. And I really enjoyed so much spending time with our CBF members and helping them with their challenges and frustrations. And I will say there is nothing like not being alone in business. When you really want to succeed, but sometimes this business can beat you up because employees can really wreak havoc on your life if you don't have solutions to some of the serious problems regarding employees. So I just felt like tonight was a really sweet time of question and answer and some problem solving for some of our CBF members who, you know, periodically you hit a brick wall. And if you're all alone, it's really hard to find your way through or around. And our CBF members that show up and dial in on our Zoom calls, and they engage and they ask their questions, they are continually moving their business forward. And there's just nothing like not being alone anymore in business and hearing, you know what, there is a solution to that problem. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. It's definitely not the end of your business. And you'll never let that happen again, because now you have a way to prevent it in the future, a way to address it sooner before it gets bigger and becomes a major problem. So anyway, it was just a really enjoyable time on the CBF call tonight. I enjoy so much interacting with business owners from around the country and literally around the world. If you are not familiar with Cleaning Business Fundamentals, as we wait for people to join us on the call, on this live broadcast, if you're not familiar with Cleaning Business Fundamentals, you can go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com and you can look at the syllabus, the curriculum. I cover 16 training modules, training topics that you absolutely must master in your business. It's all video training plus a mastermind group to answer your questions and keep you focused and inspired. But you get materials, you get this 650-page, basically a manual. You don't have to read your way through it. Nobody can learn that way. It's all video instruction where I'm literally talking to you in a conversational way. But the topics are incredible, and you can read them right there at cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. But we cover the right start, why most maid services never reach $1 million. The owner's role, it's so important to get the owner out of the field and out from behind a mop, so they're building a business instead of cleaning the accounts. So the owner's role. And then we cover setting up your business model, an actual formula for business that you can follow step by step that is proven and works 100% of the time if you follow the strategies 100%. It's an absolutely proven formula for success, profitability, low employee turnover, high prices that you can actually get for your service, and quality of life for the owner, and phenomenal income. And then we cover staffing, the most difficult part of any cleaning service. I have a formula for addressing employee retention that is unmatched in our industry. It is a unique, a counterintuitive approach to staffing. And trust me, when you hear the formula and apply it in your business, you'll be shocked at the results. You can look at the track record I have in my own cleaning company and the track record of many of my CBF members who have applied the principles, and we keep our staff long-term, and others keep their staff longer than they used to and have dramatically improved their staffing. And then, of course, training. Once you can find great workers, you better have a good training program in place that you can automate and systemize so that the owner isn't the one doing the training. And then branding. We cover branding extensively. We cover marketing extensively. I teach you all about the strategies for pricing and bidding jobs so that you can win jobs at top dollar and stop competing on price. And then, of course, I provide you with maid service specific sales training, how to leave with the key and the credit card, how to win more repeat customers. and stop doing so many one-time cleans. And then, of course, we cover systems and processes. This is how you create a scalable, repeatable business that you also can create freedom and quality of life for the owner. You don't have to sacrifice freedom, quality of life, and income. You can literally create a good income or an amazing income and freedom and quality of life if you set it up correctly. And we do that through systems and process. And then we also cover the in-home estimate for people who do those. And we give you additional strategies for selling over the phone if you don't do in-home estimates. And then maintaining quality as you grow and scale and double and triple. You got to maintain quality. It has to be a strategy instead of luck. And then your organizational chart, how to build your administrative team. Most people don't know how to do that, and they're not doing it well. And then we cover the business matrix, the numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And I will cover all of the numbers, the industry norms for typical cleaning businesses, and the numbers and the matrix that apply to my specific formula, the CBF formula. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And then basic operations, all the little stuff, employee contracts and managing keys and alarm codes and scheduling and all kinds of crazy little things. So I cover all of the critical topics to help you succeed, help you reach $1 million and beyond, help you create the kind of income and freedom that you deserve as a business owner. And I actually give you a step-by-step formula to do so. If you're ready to invest in yourself, if you're ready to say, I am worth spending some money on proven training, then visit cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. Read a little bit about it. And if you know you're ready to invest, then book a free consult with me, and we will discuss your business, your needs, how my business training can help you, and if it can help you, because I won't offer my program to somebody that I don't believe is ready to get out of the field or is ready to take their business to the next level. And so I have a one-on-one free consultation with you to determine if you're ready and if my program is a good fit for you. And there's no charge for that. Just make sure you're ready to invest in yourself before you waste the appointment. And you can go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com and sign up and schedule an appointment. Now I am booked out a little bit far, so if you're a little bit urgent in your needs, you can always send a message to Audrey and see if she can work you in sooner. I have some travel dates, so I have myself blocked off for a couple of weeks, but I can still work some appointments in even while I'm traveling. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Now, where is everybody? I'm not seeing anybody. If you guys are there, say something. Type a little note into the chat window so that I know you're there, because for some reason I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to look at my phone and just make sure I'm live. You know, I'm always suspicious of my technology because I'm kind of horrible at it. So let's see here. Let's see if I'm really live, because I'll check on my phone and make sure I'm not just talking to the air. Okay. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm live. I see myself live on my phone. There I am. So, oh, and real quick, just so you never miss a single live broadcast and the training that you could receive, make sure you sign up for my text list, and you'll get a text whenever I go live. You just type into the two where you would normally type a phone number. You just simply type in 41242. Don't worry, the phone will give some auto spacing, but it's 41242, and you're going to text keyword Debbie Live, L-I-V like Victor, Debbie Live, and it is one word. You hit send, so you type in keyword Debbie Live, one word. Don't let it autocorrect, because if it puts a space in, it won't work, and hit send, and you'll be subscribed to my texting list. So whenever I go live, you will be notified. So if you are on live with me, I would love for you to just type a little note in the chat window, because For some reason, it's not, there are no comments that are showing up in the feed, and I just don't want to ignore anybody if you're trying to say something. All right, so one more announcement. Sorry for all the announcements, but if I don't do it early on, I will forget because, you know, kind of have some ADD going on. Speed Cleaning for the Pros Conference. I am telling you, you are absolutely going to love this. Do I have my notebooks here? Speed Cleaning for the Pros Conference. Oh, goodness, let me get some products to show you. June 29th and 30th, Atlanta, Georgia, a 2-day training event to train the owner and high-level managers on Friday, to train your cleaning training supervisors on Saturday. So bring them all. And if you need to make payments, you just send me a private message on Facebook and we'll send you a link to set up payments. Some people want to bring 3 or 4 employees and they're like, oh, with airfare and hotel, I need to make payments. You know what? We'll work with you. We want you to come. We don't want you to miss out. And if you can make 200 or 250 a month payments and bring more staff, then we will work with you and set up payments. But when you attend the event, you're going to get this kit. Each company who registers will get the updated Speed Cleaning DVD. You can use this to train your new employees. And then each person who attends will each get the Speed Cleaning book. This is Speed Cleaning for the Pros. It used to be called PMC, Perfect Maintenance Cleaning. It's the same exact book. So it's the same inside, but we redesigned the cover and went back to calling it Speed Cleaning for the Pros. So Speed Cleaning for the Pros book, every person in attendance gets one. Every company that registers gets the $100 DVD. Right here, that's a $110 value. You'll also leave with workbooks. So Friday, the business owner and high-level office manager training is owner's training workbook. And we will work through the principles in this book of setting up a high-quality training program that emphasizes efficiency, quality, and consistency. You know, it doesn't matter how fast you clean if everybody cleans sloppy and generates complaints. And it also doesn't matter how amazing you clean if everybody is so slow, you can't make any money. You need both, effective and efficient. So we will teach your staff, we will teach you how to speed up your staff, increase your production rates, lower your payroll costs, and get more work done with the same staff. I've had people tell me they saved $24,000 in payroll when they went back and implemented immediately. The steps and the strategies are so simple to follow. It's amazing. And it's just not complicated. It's simple. The steps are actionable. I actually give you a training manager's book to take back and train your training supervisors or your training managers. And I teach you in the 2-day conference how to go back and properly implement the program so that you don't get resistance and pushback. I show you how to get buy-in from your staff, how to get them excited about embracing this new program. So Speed Cleaning for the Pros, you get the workbooks, you get the book, the DVD. It will be absolutely life-changing for your business if you feel like your training program needs a facelift. So, one more announcement. I have not made this public, but I've said it a couple of times on my Facebook Live broadcast, but honestly, we have not rolled this out officially, but you're not going to believe what we finally did. After 8 years of owning Speed Cleaning, where I bought it from my wonderful mentor, Jeff Campbell, we have Speed Cleaning book, DVD in Spanish. That's right, Espanol. That's all I know, Espanol. So Spanish, finally, the book has been translated to Spanish. Speed Cleaning for the Pros, how to train your Spanish-speaking employees. And the DVD is now in Spanish. It's all been professionally done. And I don't really speak Spanish, so hopefully they didn't read a Winnie the Pooh story on my DVD here, but we paid a company to do the professional voiceover, and it sounds good. It looks good. You will absolutely love it. And you can go to the Speed Cleaning website right now and order it. So Speed Cleaning for the Pros book and DVD now available in Spanish. I hope you're excited about that, or at least as excited as I am. All righty, let's see here. This is the strangest thing. I have no comments, and I really think, is there anyone there? I believe you guys are there, but for some reason, nothing is showing up in the stream. So, I don't know. Comment for me. If you're listening on the replay, make sure you register. Oh, and I forgot to tell you how to register for Speed Cleaning for the Pros 2-day conference in Atlanta. You can go to debbiesardone.com/events, or you can go to speedcleaning.com/events. Either way, you can register at either link, debbiesardone.com/events. In fact, I can http://speedcleaning.com/events. There it is. All right, guys, register before it's too late. We always fill up at the end, and I always get these desperate emails saying, is there any way you can squeeze me in? And when we're full, we're full. We have a room for 100 seats in the room, and we're more than halfway there. So I know in June we will fill up, so don't wait. Also, June 7th ends the guaranteed pricing at our hotel, a really nice Marriott hotel at the Atlanta airport. It ends our incredible pricing deal that we negotiated of $106 a night. So make sure you register before June 7th and grab your hotel, because they won't guarantee that price afterwards. If the hotel begins to fill up, they'll raise the rate. If it doesn't, obviously they'll keep the rate kind of low. All right, so let's talk about lessons I learned from my mom. This is part 3. And by way of introduction, for some of you who really don't know my story, my mom's story, my mom started her cleaning business at age 65. Technically, she was my very first consulting client. I really wasn't consulting yet. This was back when we didn't have cell phones. This was like 22 years ago. We didn't have cell phones. We talked on Saturdays, and I would coach her through things. She called me up when she was 65 years old, and she said, honey, I'm retiring from AT&T. I think it was called Southwestern Bell back then, but it's now AT&T, and that's what it became. But so she said, honey, I'm retiring from AT&T. I want to start a maid service. Teach me everything you know. And by that time, I'd been in business for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure I'd already hit the $1 million maid service mark. And she knew I had a great business, and she wanted to start her own business. My mom had always worked in corporate America. She'd never cleaned a house in her life. And I said, Mom, are you going to clean? And she said, no, of course not. I'm not going to clean. I want you to teach me how to run a business. So my mother never cleaned a day in her life. She never cleaned a house when she owned her business. And she immediately started following my cleaning business fundamentals formula, which back then I didn't call it that. It was just the formula I had followed for my business to succeed. And I taught her my formula for business. And I told her, Mom, follow it to a T. Don't change anything, and you'll succeed. And she did an amazing job. Within, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, she built it up to about 14 employees. She had an office manager. She had her own office. And most of all, she created a ton of freedom and quality of life for herself. She generated a very nice income for herself, and she had freedom. She never told me, oh, I can't come visit for the kids' birthdays because, you know, I have a business to run. She could leave a week at a time, go on cruises with her girlfriends. My mother was a widow. My dad passed away very young at age 52 or 51. And she could go on cruises with her girlfriends, and she could come visit us, her and her grandkids for a week. And I mean, her business never held her back. It afforded her the extras and the luxuries in her life. She started that business at 65. She ran her business all the way up until the month she passed away at age 87. So she just passed away this past February 18th. So this was my first Mother's Day without my mom. And it was bittersweet. I spent the Mother's Day with my son and my two little grandbabies. And, you know, that was wonderful and I enjoyed it. But I definitely miss my mom and we had an amazing relationship. And I learned so much from her that I've been sharing lessons I learned from my mom that helped me in business. So tonight I'm going to share 4 more lessons I learned from my mom. And I hope that you learn some things as well. Now, man, I just don't understand why I'm not getting a single comment in the chat box. But anyway, I trust you can see me, but I sure can't see you, and I can't see any of the comments. So if you're able to comment, will you guys type? Oh, you know what? Here are the comments. They're on my phone. I should have checked. Oops. Let me mute myself. I can't. Let's see here. Let me mute my phone. It's so weird. My screen is frozen on my computer, but you guys can see me. So sorry for obsessing and wondering if anybody was there. But at least I can look at the comments and say hello. My apologies. And then I'll jump right in. Okay, Andrew, good to see you. I think I'm going to see you at Speed Cleaning, aren't I? I can't wait. And let's see, Joanne, hey there. Okay, thank you guys for acknowledging. I forgot I can check my phone. It doesn't freeze, but for some reason the computer, because the way I link it through Zoom, sometimes it freezes and it makes me crazy. But as my dad used to say, you know, when I say, well, it drives me crazy, he said, well, it's not a very far drive. Robin, hello, great to see you. Naomi, so glad you're here. Nick, great to see you, Nick. Need you in CBF. Ange, great to see you, my dear. Hope you're doing well. Alex, thank you so much for joining me. Okay, I feel like I'm not talking to the air now. Okay, so back to my mom. She ran her business almost till the day she died. Her business was out of her home as she got older, you know, way up into her 70s and her 80s. Her business did shrink a little bit, and she maintained a small staff and a good income and a wonderful quality of life where when you're 87 years old, it's really a good thing when people need you and their paycheck depends on you. So it really gave value and quality of life to my mother to own a business where employees needed her and she loved them and they loved her. And it was just incredible. So let me share 4 more lessons. And if you miss the others, you can go listen in the replay in the video tab of this Facebook group. You can just check the video tab and catch up on the other lessons. But lesson number 9, and it's lessons I learned from my mom. This is what successful people do. She woke up early and got dressed for the day. My mother always did that. Now, she wasn't one of those 5 a.m. kind of people. She was always up between 6:30 and 7 a.m. But she didn't sleep in late. She got up early and she made her coffee and she got dressed for the day. And my mother was one of those people, she put on her makeup, she got dressed. Now, maybe not, you know, obviously she didn't wear a suit when she worked out of her home, but she always dressed nice. My mother always had earrings on. I get all this from her. She always wore jewelry and she always wore some kind of a cute outfit. And I really do believe that, especially if you work out of your home, which I do now, I work out of my home now. When you work out of your home, there is a tendency to kind of slouch around and not put on your makeup and not shower and not get out of your pajamas till noon. And so, especially if you don't see people, and especially with the CBF formula, we really don't have to interact with a lot of people. And now that I do all my business consulting and training and I'm an absentee owner at my business, I work out of my home. And I learned from my mom, get up early, have your coffee, and get dressed, showered, dressed, makeup, hair, earrings. And it's a rare day that I don't. And one of the things my mom emphasized is, why would you always get dressed up for other people? Like you're going to the office or you're going to church, but you never get dressed up for your husband. Now, she was an old-fashioned lady. Obviously, she just passed away at 87, so she's from a different generation. And she taught me that. She said, it doesn't make sense to me that a woman would get all dressed up and dialed up with, dolled up in hair and makeup and high heels and go to the office for other people. But if they're home, they don't do anything. And their husband comes home from work and they're still in their bathrobe and they got curlers in their hair and bad breath and unshowered and no makeup. And that was one of the things she taught me. So I do feel like it sets the tone for your day if you work out of your home to get up early, get your coffee, get showered, do your hair, do your makeup, get dressed, whatever you do. If you don't do hair and makeup, obviously the guys. And it just kind of kicks you into high gear quicker. And the mornings that I take too long to get out of my pajamas, it's like I'm running behind the whole day. And I really do think it sets you up for success for the whole day when you just get up early, get dressed, and get going. Another lesson my mom taught me was to grow a thick skin. Grow a thick skin. My mother was not a thin-skinned individual. You know, you've been around those people that if you just look at them funny, they think you're mad at them, or they are mad at you and you don't even know why. And there was some minor little misstep you made and they're sulking and they're mad and they're upset. And my mother was never that way. She wasn't overly sensitive. She didn't assume the worst of others. She didn't think that everybody was mad at her or out to get her. She had this incredibly positive outlook in life. She did not have a thin skin. And I got that from her. I've got a pretty thick skin. Now, I'm not too thick-skinned with my family members. I mean, if they say something to me, my feelings will get hurt quicker than somebody else. But I really have grown a thick skin. And of course, through different challenges in business, my skin has gotten thicker. And for people that don't understand that term, it just means you're not overly sensitive. You don't take everything personal. And I even had somebody tell me one time, and it was a compliment, it wasn't a put down, but he said to me, emotionally, you act like a man. And I said, well, I take that as a compliment because sometimes us women have earned a reputation of being overly sensitive and taking things personal when we shouldn't. And no slide on women. I'm not trying to run our gender down. I love women, but we need, especially as women, we do need to grow a little bit of a thicker skin. It came in handy last night. I'm in a speaker academy. I'm always trying to better myself. I'm always being mentored or trained by somebody. I mean, I almost always have a mentor or a trainer, or I'm in a training program. And I've been in a speaker academy and I graduate June 2nd. And last night was our practice shot where we have to practice a 10-minute speech. I hate 10-minute speeches. I mean, you see how long it takes me to get going. And I've hardly given out, 2 tips? 10 minutes? Are you kidding me? So I have to deliver a decent 10-minute speech. And last night was our practice shot. And so we all had to stand up in front of our peers and then our 3 coaches, and they would critique our speech. And it's really difficult because you can't stand to hear how you blew it. And you can't stand to hear how you could have done better and you should have done better. And this is what you should have done. This is what you should have done. And of course, they're really good mentors. They don't beat you up. They give you several compliments and tell you how great you are in certain areas. And then they hit you with what you need to hear. And afterwards, one of the gals came up to me and she said, I hope you didn't take Jim so hard. He can be a little bit, how did she word it? She'd used a word, I forgot. It was like gruff or over the top. And I said, honestly, it didn't bother me at all. I needed his feedback. I needed to hear it. I'm really glad. And I said, I didn't take it personal. It didn't offend me. And I really meant it. I wasn't rattled at all. And she said, oh, I'm so relieved. I'm glad you weren't upset because I thought he was a little rough. And I said, well, he was rough on all of us. And so I didn't take it personally. I just knew it was feedback I needed. Now, there were a couple of things he said I didn't agree with, but I didn't argue with him. I just dismissed it because I didn't agree with it. But that could be the know-it-all in me. which I think I got from my mom as well. But anyway, I have a thick skin pretty much, and it's come in handy because when you're being critiqued as a speaker, it is brutal. I get the opportunity to speak to a lot of people, and I usually hand out speaker reviews for my own events. Why? Because I want to know how I did, and I want to know who did I disappoint and what topics were weak, because I just want to get better and better and better. If I was overly sensitive, I wouldn't hand out speaker reviews because I wouldn't be able to take the critique. Without the critique, without the feedback, we don't get better. We're the one that's hurt because we've missed the opportunity to improve. And I know at every conference that I speak at, when they do speaker reviews, I wait anxiously to get the speaker reviews that come in the mail, and they share the results. And most of the time I nail it and I'm really excited. But usually if I get a stack of speaker reviews and all of them are like, oh, best speech ever, great speech, learned so much, loved it. And then I'll get one out of a stack that thick that says, it was okay. Or, you know, I dropped a star. Usually I get the top ratings. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I usually do get the top ratings because my content is good. And if I get one speaker review that I drop a star or two, and then they say something like, you rushed towards the end, or you didn't provide adequate handouts, and I'm like, oh, you know, I focus on the one. But I have a thick enough skin to learn from it. I want the feedback. I want to learn. I want to get better. And if we don't grow a thick skin, we won't learn from our weaknesses and our failures, and we won't learn from the feedback that we get. Type into the chat if you feel like you have a thick skin, or if owning your own business has helped you grow a thicker skin. Type in that chat and let me know, how are you doing at growing a thick skin? I'm really curious. Go ahead and tell on yourself, because nobody else is going to tell me. All right. And then point number 3 in lessons learned from my mom. She always told the truth. My mom didn't lie. I remember early on in my business, there would be too many times when it was just humiliating to tell the customer the truth, so I would lie. So the customer, you know, we would have to call the customer, and we would just make up a lie, like, oh, we can't come Friday. I can't think of a lie right now because I really worked at not lying. But, you know, we would make up some excuse to a customer if something happened, like, oh, you know, your cleaning tech is out sick, so we can't send her. So we're going to send Mary Lou. And then what we were really up to is the cleaning tech that we needed was like one of our best technicians, and we added a new cleaning, and we needed her to head up the job and be the team leader. And so we would lie to a customer, or some other thing. I mean, I can't think of some examples right now, but in the early days of my business, we would tell little white lies out of convenience and humiliation. Oh, we don't have Fridays open on Mary Lou's schedule. And then later on, Mary Lou and the customer would be chatting. She's like, yeah, I have openings on Friday. You know, and then the customer would know we just didn't want to give her a Friday. And finally, I just realized in business, it never pays to lie. It's wrong. I mean, my faith prevents it, forbids it, but you know, sometimes we do things we shouldn't do. And early on in my business, I realized it may be humiliating sometimes to tell the truth, but it's far more humiliating to have a customer discover that you lied to them. That's much worse. And it makes you look untrustworthy. And if you would lie about little things, people are going to wonder if you would lie about big things. And I finally just made a personal policy and then a public policy in my office. We don't lie to our customers, period. And, you know, there for a while, we were all getting in bad habits, and something would happen, and the scheduler would say, well, why don't we just tell the customer this? And we're like, yeah, tell them that. And so we all got in little bad habits. And finally I said, you know, this isn't who I want us to be. This doesn't represent my personal values, and this isn't the kind of values I want to create in my company. We are not going to lie to our customers. Now, we don't have to volunteer stuff. We don't have to say your technician quit without notice. She hates our company and stole 5 of our customers. We don't have to say that, but we don't have to volunteer things. But if they ask us, we will tell the truth. So if there was something kind of embarrassing that we didn't want to have to say, you know, we could just simply say, hey, she's not available to clean for you, but we'd like to send you Mary Lou today. If the customer didn't inquire, then we didn't have to face whatever situation was going on. But if the customer did inquire, we would be honest. We would say, well, to be honest with you, she quit without notice. You know, what? That's a third one. Yeah, I know. We are so sorry. So I made up my mind early on in my business. We're not going to lie, and I'm not going to allow a culture of lies in my company. And I will tell you, it is very hard, because when the rubber hits the road and things are tense and a little chaotic, it's so much easier to say, oh, just tell the customer this. And, you know, we would catch ourselves doing that. And then I would be the leader I was supposed to be. And I would say, you know what? No, let's not lie. Don't just say that, and just don't volunteer anything. And so then I would begin to set the example and the tone for my admin staff that we don't lie. We just don't lie. And invariably, you're going to get caught, and you're going to look like a fraud. And people aren't going to trust you if you lie. And I learned that from my mother. Just tell the truth. Now, you don't have to volunteer everything, but just tell the truth. And then the last point I'll give tonight is show gratitude. This is so important. I started reading, but I haven't finished, a book by Dennis Prager, which I think is a brilliant man. And he wrote a book on happiness. And one of the things he says that he believes is the key to happiness. And a lot of people would never have guessed this. In fact, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Type in, because I don't want to give it away yet. Type in what you think is the key to happiness. Just type it in. Just give me one word. The key to happiness. He says the key to happiness is gratefulness. And I thought about that, and I'm like, you know what? That's really interesting, because it's extremely hard to be unhappy when you are grateful. You know, you can be poor and happy if you're grateful. You can be grateful for the roof over your head. I remember when my husband and I were stinking poor, and we lived in what is hilariously known today in our town as, it's kind of like the projects. It wasn't quite that bad, but we lived rent-free for a year because my husband was a police officer and the apartment complex needed security. That's the kind of place we lived in. We didn't have children yet. We were newly married. He was a police officer. I cleaned houses. And we were trying to save money to buy our first home. And there's just no money left over with a police officer's salary and a lady who cleans a few houses a week, charging probably back then $5 an hour, $10 an hour. And so he got this job, this like side gig. If you'll be evening security at this apartment complex, you can live rent free. And he did it for a year, and we saved up money for a house. And but it was pretty divey. And today it's still around in town. If I ever meet somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, we used to live in St. Charles Place. They're like, what? Wasn't that bad back then, but it was pretty divey. I was happy. I had this cute little apartment, and I bought all kinds of cute little decorations from garage sales, and I loved my apartment. It was full of roaches, but I loved it. And you know, we were happy. I was grateful. And I think that's something I learned from my mother, is to show gratitude. Be grateful and show gratitude. We were grateful for a roof over our heads. I was grateful for a car that would start. Now I'm grateful for a nice expensive car, but back then I was just grateful that the car would start. Didn't matter that it didn't have any stinking air conditioning in the horrible heat of Texas. And you know, back then you wore hose when you went to church, and so you'd sweat to death and show up at church drenched in sweat. But I was grateful my car started, because I had a car before that half the time it didn't start, and it used to stop in the middle of the road. And it was humiliating. I had to run at a red light, and the car wouldn't, it would like die at a red light. So I'd have to, this was so humiliating. This is an old white Volvo station wagon. And I'd be sitting at a red light, and this car had air conditioning. So I loved this car. It was an old piece of junk. And it would start to shake. And I'm like, oh, please, please, please turn green so I can put on the gas. Because if you idled, the car would die. And the only way I could start this stupid car was I had to get out and run to the front, lift up the hood, and I had a pair of pliers that I kept in the front seat, and you banged on the starter, I think is what it was. I don't even know what it was. Maybe it was a carburetor, maybe it was a starter. But I would bang on it with the metal pliers, and if you banged on it, it would start. And then I would jump back in the car. Of course, by that time, the light was green. People were honking. People were whizzing by me, and I'm looking like a fool. And I would jump back in the car, and I'd start the engine. It would go until I had to get stuck at another red light. And then the stupid thing would die, and I'd have to jump out, raise the hood, all these people whizzing by me, honking, acting like you're inconveniencing me. And I'd bang on that starter or whatever it was I banged on. I'd get back in and go. So when I finally had a car that started every time, I didn't care that it didn't have air conditioning and it was over 100 degrees in Texas heat. I was so grateful for a car that started. And so I believe gratefulness is a key to happiness. And I truly believe I learned gratitude from my mother. She was grateful for everything we had. You know, I mean, I honestly don't remember my mother complaining much. She just wasn't a complainer. My mother saw the glass was half full on everything. It was never half empty. It was always half full. And so all of that gratitude enables you to be a happy human being. And you know what? My mother showed gratitude. She gave gifts to her employees. She gave them birthday gifts. She copied my annual banquet where there were tons of gifts on a door prize table. And she was just so generous. She loved to show her gratitude to her employees. And of course, she wrote notes to her customers, and some of her best customers, she would send small gifts through her office manager who would call on the customers. I mean, she was just a grateful woman. And she showed gratitude to everybody who deserved it. She wasn't a doormat. I mean, she'd let you know it if you were out of line. But anyway, so those are the things that I learned from my mom, lessons learned from my mom. Wake up early every day and get dressed for the day. Grow a thick skin so you can learn from the feedback from others and better yourself. Tell the truth. No matter what, no matter how embarrassing it is, just tell the truth. And then show gratitude and be grateful. I learned those lessons from my mom that I think are so incredibly valuable. They apply to your personal life, they apply to your relationship with your children, and they apply to your relationships with your employees, your customers, and how successful your business is. Are you grateful? Because if you're not grateful in this life, you are not happy. If you are grateful, chances are you're happy. We didn't have two nickels to rub together when Steve and I first got married. I didn't know to be ungrateful. I didn't know to be miserable and look at my friends and look at the expensive cars they drove and the nice clothes they wore. I didn't know to compare. I was too naive. I was just happy and in love and thrilled to be married and away from Miami. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I wanted to share lessons learned, part 3, lessons learned from my mom, who passed away February 18th. This is our first Mother's Day without her, but the legacy she left, my brother, my sister, and myself, will carry us through the memories, and the memories will create a lifetime of joy. So I hope these were helpful. I hope my mom has touched your life with lessons learned from my mom. I'll do one more, part 4, and then we'll move on and we'll talk about other things. Thanks, everybody. Let me make sure I didn't miss a comment. Starter. I'm not sure, Michaela, what that is. I apologize. I missed it. Hey, Heather. Grateful is a good one. It is a good one, isn't it? Okay, so Catherine writes, after 8+ years, realize nothing is personal. It's true. It's not personal. It's business. one of my favorite lines in one of my favorite books, movies called You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks and, oh, I forget her name, the cute little blonde girl. Anyway, Catherine says, business is business. The key to happiness for me is 2 words: breathe, breath, and gratitude. I think she means breathe and gratitude. Gratitude, there it is. There's that word. Gratefulness is what creates happiness. Happiness is not created by wealth. It's not created by things. And oddly enough, it isn't actually created by people, although people can bring us incredible joy. My children have brought me incredible joy, but happiness comes from gratefulness. And they really are different. Joy and happiness are 2 different things. It's growing slowly. Very good. From Michaela. Oh, and Heather says love. I used to be super sensitive. Now after business, I have a really thick skin. Kim says, boy, doesn't being in business for yourself help you grow a thick skin? If it doesn't, you walk around upset all day. Pam says, I'm getting thicker skin every day. You know, Pam, my saying in CBF training is on to the next. When somebody walks all over you and then leaves, on to the next. Michaela says, I need one. Thick skin, I think is what she said. All right. I used to co-teach marriage seminars with my husband. We taught the same thing about getting ready for the day, even if you weren't expecting someone. Your husband sees a woman made up all day. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, your husband, well, that's what my mother used to say. Maybe they read the same books. But, you know, the husband sees these women all dressed up all day at work, and then he comes home to a wife that doesn't take even a moment to look presentable. I mean, how sad is that? And I realize same thing for the guys. Guys need to take good care of themselves for the people they love in their life. So anyway, don't want to get too deep into that, but I hope this has helped your business today, because that's what it's all about. Now make sure you register for Speed Cleaning for the Pros, June 29th and 30th. It's a Friday and a Saturday. Trust me, it will be worth the time and the investment for airfare and hotel if you have to travel. It will change your training program forever. It will improve the quality, improve your production rates, lower your payroll costs, increase your profits. I mean, I promise you it will. Unless you ignore everything you learn, it will have a positive impact on your business that will pay for itself tenfold once you apply it in your business. So Speed Cleaning for the Pros, registration will fill up very fast. June 7th is the deadline for hotel at $106 a night. So grab that. Go to debbiesardone.com/events. Please come. You'll love it. You'll get plenty of goodies. And for those of you that want to upgrade to a VIP status, we'll have lunch together. We'll have a meet and greet cocktail Thursday night before the event, and we'll have some networking time together. So I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being a part of my live broadcast. And again, if you want to know more about cleaning business fundamentals, if you want to experience the CBF life and the transformation to your business that you always dreamed would happen but hasn't happened yet, then visit cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. You can learn more about our program, and you can book a free consult with me to discuss whether or not it is a good fit for you, and if it is the right time for you to invest in your training and getting your business to the next level. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great night, and follow me next time. Take care. Be grateful.